Here, this is Lord Potato, and this is What If Asta Was the Reincarnation of Mori Jim, Part 4. Now, I'm going to just say this once, and I am trying to record at least 4 videos, or even 3 videos a day, making them either each 30 or even 1 hour long, if however long I want to kind of go to a part. But yeah, I should also mention that I'm still kind of sick, a little bit. I mean a little bit. I do sneeze there and cough a little bit, but yeah. But not the point. I am just trying to record before, well, my, what's it called, fucking break is over. But yeah, just record a lot before I go back to school and I have to go on with life. But yeah. But other than that, let me begin to this what if and let me shut the fuck up. Now, I think tomorrow is going to rain a lot, and I feel like there's going to be thunder, but I don't know about that. Also, happy Thanksgiving, everyone. I'm just gonna give you that early Thanksgiving, but yeah. But what's it called? I don't know if I'm gonna record tomorrow or not. But if I do, probably Thanksgiving. What did I do with Thanksgiving special? I know I did one last year, but I don't know if I'll do one this year because I have too many what ifs I want to get through, and I want to actually finish them. So yeah. But other than that, let me begin into this what if and let me shut the fuck up. But yeah, let's begin. So we go into Asta. Asta is right now with what's it called, Mariona, and also Kruger. Kruger is right now trying to ask Mariona if she has any, well, kind of indications or directions and where what's it called, Donna will be at, or Dominic's or whatever. Of course, this is where Mariona, she's very secretive, but of course, she says, yeah. This is where Asta goes outside just to kind of do something, because he kind of sent some people already outside. And this is where Mariona is saying, well, leader, I mean, what's kind of leader? Master. This is where Kruger says, can you please stop calling me, or, not Kruger, Fanzel says, can you please stop calling me, well, Master, Mariona? He gets stabbed in his chest, feeling an ice needle. This is where Fanzel kind of coughs up blood and says, Mariona. This is where Mariona says, I'm sorry. This is where she turns around and sees the leader of what's it called, mostly the Diamond Assassin leader and all that. And of course the Diamond Assassin leader says, good job, Mariona. Now we can take him back to, well, Diamond Country and execute him for his crimes of leaving. This is where Fanzel tries to get up, but this is where, well, someone smashes through, well, the house. Mostly a bunch of people smashes through the house, and mostly it was Asta. Asta say, weaklings. This is where Asta just kind of cleaning off his hands with the dust off of it. This is where Asta looks at the Diamond Leader, and this is where Diamond Leader gets angry and says, who are you? Asta says, who am I? You don't even know who am I. All you gotta know is lightning strike. This is where the person says, lightning. He is gone. He is knocked out. He's blacked out. Asta says, well, that was easier than I thought. This is where Asta goes to Mariona, and Mariona does make an ice weapon to try to stab at Asta. Asta grabs her from the arm, then grabs the other arm, and that's where she tries to kick at Asta, but Asta manages to just block it with his own knee, and says, well, you're talented in taijutsu, but not taijutsu, hand-to-hand combat, but still, you're worse than I am. Lieutenant I begin. Still, why are you attacking the old man? This is where, well, she says, because that's where I say, yeah, you're threatened, blah, blah, blah. You're probably just threatened by someone, and you can't do it because they will kill you, and so you need to betray this old man just for a lot of things. Is that true? This is where, well, Mariona winds her eyes and say, how did you? Yeah, I'm not stupid. I might look dumber than normal, but that's probably just the case. Just normal. Still, don't care. This is where Naruto lets go of her. And of course, where Mariona kind of jumps back and says, well, I won't. She was about to leave until Asta appears right now, smashing his hand to the wall. Of course, pushing her towards the wall. And this is where Asta says, why are you gonna leave anyway? Pretty much you should be with the old man. Besides, aren't you two, like friends or something? Or sensei to student or something? I don't know why you should leave when technically you're in, well, the, what's it called, Clover Kingdom, and pretty much the Clover Kingdom is pretty fucking falsely, how should I say, inactive to actually care of finding what's it called, just people. They pretty much suck in finding people. So I mean, with your skills, you can probably easily evade the magic knights. This is where, well, Mariana says, but I need to get. When who's going? Tell me one thing, Asta says. Do you have anyone in Diamond Country? This is where her face kind of looks at Asta, and she thinks about it, and she only thought of someone in her head, and then she then says, not really. This is where, well, Asta says, then good. If you have no one in your mind, being in Diamond Country, then you can just be where your sensei or master. I don't give a shit what he is. Pretty much I just call him old man because he's old man. This is where, well, she kind of glares at Asta with more anger because she doesn't like, well, fans are being called old man most of the time. And this is where, well, Asta says, whatever. This is where, well, Asta lets go of mostly the wall. And the wall was intended by his hand because he did kind of smash his hand into it. And this is where, well, of course, Asta was really close towards Mariana. And of course, Asta wasn't going to kiss her or anything. Mostly just trying to figure out what the fuck is happening most of the time. But yeah, this is where Mariana realized one thing, and he was really close to her. Of course, her face becomes red a little bit, but of course she looked away. This is where Asta says, well, see you, Fanzel. I think I'm gonna have to need to go back to my village and see what the hell's happening. Besides, the month is over. I need to go do whatever, but yeah. See ya. This is where, well, Asta was leaving, but this is where he calls out, well, what's it called, Nimbus. Nimbus flies down, and this is where Asta kind of lands on him. And this is where Asta says, let's go, Nimbus. Shoom. So yeah, he kind of flies off with Nimbus. This is where Mariana and Fanzel looks at each other, just confused, but yeah. We go into Asta being with the others, and of course, a month has already passed, or mostly the last couple of days. And of course, it's now the Magic Night entrance, mostly to go towards the kind of capital. Of course, mostly everyone is going. Well, not everyone entirely. You know, Kanzaki, Colin, Estef, and Junko is going. Asta was about to try to sleep in and not go. He does not give a shit that much of being a Magic Knight. But this is where he's dragged along by, well, Kanzaki, and even what's it called, Junko. So yeah, they mostly dragged them out of there, but yeah, out of the church. But yeah. Of course, to work, well, they kind of get towards, well, the kind of capital way earlier because, well, Asta, instead of traveling for like 4 days or whatever, how long it took that much from, well, Hodge Village towards the capital, I forgot how long it took. But of course, this is where, well, mostly Asta kind of just asked Nimbus to kind of fly them all over there. But yeah. Of course, the word Nimbus did that, and of course, the word, well, they all get to the capital and kind of relax for a couple of days until, well, the Magic Night exam happens. That's where, well, people were shocked when, what's it called? The Magic Night exam actually appeared and all that. This is where people were shocked to see, well, Yuno's 4-leaf clover. What's it called? Yuno 4-leaf clover. What's it called? Estes also 4-leaf clover, but it was blue. Yuno was a green, what's it called? Green grimoire that was a 4-leaf. And of course, SF was a bluish grimoire, but of course, instead of the, what's it called, leaf being like golden color, like Yuno's, it was kind of silver, but yeah. This is what, well, Colin's grimoire had a 5-leaf on it. Junko's grimoire was also a 5-leaf. Kanzaki's grimoire was actually a 4-leaf, but yeah, was it? Did I say 4-leaf or 5-leaf last time? I don't remember. I'm gonna say there was 5 leaves. Yeah, you know, fuck it, 5 leaves. Of course, it worked. Well, actually, yeah, you know what, 40 for right now, because I have an idea when it's turned to a 5-leaf, but not the point. Of course, people were shocked to see, well, no, it was a 5-leaf. So 3 of them had 5 leaves and 2 of them had 4 leaves. But the most confusing part is when they saw Asta's grimoire. Asta had a crimson red sun on the grimoire. Of course, mostly to show what they call the fact that he's Mori's gym reincarnation. But yeah, just because he's the Sun Wukong. But yeah, of course, we go into them kind of going into the exam. Now, of course, the exam is starting, and of course, where people are getting on the brooms and all that. Well, of course, before any of that happens, I also did bump into, what's it called, Yami. And Yami did try to grab him from the head because he was angry and all that. He did this pressure of power and all that, this darkness pressure. And of course, Asta wasn't affected. Instead, when Yami tries to grab Asta, Asta kind of grabbed him from his hand and actually started squeezing it. This is where Yami kind of got angry. And before Yami can actually do anything, he was swept off from his legs, and of course, this is where he was actually about to get punched in the face. Yes, Yami's was sweep off from his legs because, well, you see here, since Asta's a reincarnation more Jim, he can sweep people pretty easily. He sweeps, what's it called, Yami from using his right leg and sweeping both of his legs off. Of course, this is where, since he still has, Yami with his left hand, mostly grabbing his right hand of, what's it called, Yami's, he was still holding on, but this is where Asta could have easily punched and knocked the fuck out of Yami. This is where, what's it called, Asta's eyes were a greenish color that had a cross. And Asta was not hesitating in murdering his face. This is where, Asta doesn't give a shit that much. He would have easily punched him, but it was because Kensaki told him to stop. That's where, Asta says, he lets go of, Yami's arm, and of course, this is where Yami was impressed and how fast, Asta was. This is where, we go into other people. Other people were shocked with Asta's speed. He was a captain. Mostly the captain from the Black Bulls was, Captain Magic Knight. But yet, Asta could have easily knocked him out. Everyone felt the pressure of magic, and Asta wasn't phased from it. He didn't give a shit. But this is where, we go into the brooms. Everyone is kind of trying to lift up and all that. Everyone's supposed to go on a mostly height of lifting up from the, what's it called? Mostly, ground and all that. And those people who are not lifted up from the ground, like, they have to be 5 feet-ish. No, not 5 feet. Mostly 10 feet from the sky, mostly from the ground and all that. Before, those people who are not above that 10 feet or in the 10 feet center, they will be eliminated. Everyone is like trying to use their Grimoire's rooms. They're using it, and of course, some of them are flying. You notice right now, just standing upon it and easily flying. This is where, Kensaki is easily standing also, but she just sits down because it's so boring. This is where, Estef is also pretty much flying easily. Junko and Kensaki, not Kensaki, Colin are easily flying up, and this is where Asta is right now just flying up with fucking Nimbus. There was no fucking rule that he cannot use a cloud. A fucking cloud to just stand upon and be flying. He's right now flexing on everyone, showing that he's on top of a fucking cloud. Like, what the fuck? He didn't even use a fucking broom, and everyone is shocked right now to see this. Asa is yawning. He's right now also sitting on the cloud, yawning and eating a fucking banana. Like, he pulled that shit out of nowhere and just started eating it. Yeah, Asa is not giving 2 fucks less about people. This is where so many people are shocked, and of course, those people who fell were just shocked and dumbfounded with Asta just flying a fucking cloud. Because you see here, you can't literally stand on a cloud because you're just gonna fall through it because it's super soft and it's mostly made out of water. So yeah. But of course, Asta's defining gravity, or mostly the laws of physics. But yeah. Of course, the next match mostly the next, what's it called, not match, mostly the next, kind of steps to kind of going before the match, was to create your own element and hit the target. Hit 3 targets with his wind attacks, mostly thanks to his grimoire. This is where, Kensaki uses blood needles to easily hit the targets and directly easily, instead of like, obliterating them in an instant. This is where Junko, she uses these kind of emotion, like symbols, also similar to Kensaki's. But of course they're with emotion and they're red because they're in anger. And this is where she throws it at, the target. And of course it lights him up on fire because anger is kind of fire and all that. This is where, next was Colin. Colin just activates what's called like metallic out of nowhere. mostly created metallic. And this is where, well, it smashes into the targets, mostly drilling through them. And this is where, well, this is called magic. And this is where, well, next was what's called Asta, and Asta just freezes them in an instant, gone. And this is where, well, Asta sees the targets, and this is where Asta, he sees them, and this is where Asta, he did tell Nimbus to go up. And this is where Asta says, lightning style. Boom! He obliterates him in an instant. Yeah, he didn't give a shit. And yet his grimoire isn't activated. That's the one problem that confuses the shit out of everyone. The captains, except for Kenzaki and Yuno and the others. This is where, well, they know that Asta doesn't really use magic that much. Even though his magic is there a little bit, they can't understand much about Asta, but yeah. This is where, well, Asta then looks at everyone, and that's where everyone says, no way in hell we can beat that. Some nobles are getting angry, but yeah. This is where Yami is very impressed with Asta. Asta's power is on a complete different level from everyone else, but yeah. It's like if Asta was some kind of god, which he is. Because you see here, Sun Wukong is a god. But Asta's right now in his human-based form, but yeah. He can still use some god powers, but he's not using all of them mostly, but yeah. Yeah, so well, we go into the next kind of, well, test, and of course the next test is mostly to kind of see what's called. What was the next test? Wait. You know, the next test is basically the match and all that, just to partner yourself up with people and all that. And this is where Asta is looking around and seeing that no one's really partnering up together with some people and all that. But mostly what's called Kenzaki was partnering up with what's it called Estef. This is where Junko and Colin, and this is where Yuno was about to partner up with Asta. Until, well, before even stepping close to Asta, Asta didn't really want to partner up with him because fuck that shit. He still hates Yuno a lot. But this is where, well, a noble managed to grab Asta from the shoulder and say, hey, you peasant, you're fighting me. That's where Asta says, oh really? And what happened if I kick your ass? Well, will your noble ass finally pay up? This is where, well, the noble says, cocky aren't you for being a peasant? This is where, you know, what's about to just using a wind attack just to kind of blow what's it called, the noble away, so he can fight Asta. But this is where, well, both the noble and Asta kind of walks out. This is where the first match begins. Number 144 versus, I forgot what Asta's original number was, I'm going to just say 21. So yeah, this is where, well, 21 begin. This is where William said. This is where, well, the noble right now is activating his magic, and it's a fire, well, mostly fire and all that. But his fire is kind of like this, like a little bit of lightish, like reddish color, like a little bit crimson red color, but it's a lighter red. And this is where he says, I'll show you the power of the true noble of the red family flames. This is where, well, Asta says, Asta say, what the fuck? This is where the mostly Vermilion, Fogolian Vermilion says, interesting. He's using red flames, a lightish red, but still powerful. This is where, well, some of the other captains are seeing this, and of course they're waiting on what Asta's going to do. Is he going to activate his grimoire? Is he going to fight against his man? Or what's going to happen? Asta yawns and doesn't even do anything. This is where, well, Asta says, well, it's time to fight you. This is where, well, Asta grins, and this is where, well, the noble sends red flames of what's it called, creation of birds. And these aren't phoenix, it's just red flame birds. And of course, this is where Asta, he just fucking punches one of the birds, dispelling an instant, kicking at another one, and then kneeling at another one, and of course destroying them in an instant. This is where Asta says, well, they would have burned my hands, but yet they're doing absolute shit, nothing. This is where the captains were kind of confused and why Asta's just punching them, and not using his magic. Like, they were kind of confused in why he didn't just use a lightning strike. This is where Yami is pretty impressed with the kid. This is where Asta rushes towards the, what's it called, magic, well, mostly the noble and all that. The noble sends more red flames, mostly a red flame, what's it called, like wall and all that, because he thinks that Asta isn't just going to be stupid enough just to break through it. And yet Asta just runs through it and just punches the noble in the face. This is where the noble is just shocked. This is where the noble just kind of dizzy up. And this is where Asta then fucking knees him in the stomach, fucking smashing him down to the ground, then grabbing him up, grabbing him up to the air and all that. And this is where Asta says, recoilless kick. Boom! Smashing him into the pillar. And of course, this is where the noble is gone. He is cooked. His back is broken, okay? He is gone. This is where Asta says, hey, noble, come on, fight me. This is no time for you to go to sleep. This is a battle to the death. Either you die right now or you die later. This is where all the nobles right now in the arena are kind of just scared of fighting Asta when Asta has no care in his eyes. This is where, well, William says, number 21, you are the winner. You do not need to kill him. Asta says, such a stupid thing, stupid rule for that. This is where, well, the captains are kind of interested. Well, mostly Fugolin was interested in, well, the red flame user, but the problem is the taijutsu, well, mostly the martial arts that Asta displayed was incredible. Yet for someone who didn't even use magic, this is where Fugolin thinks that maybe Asta had some kind of defensive magic around him, but they didn't sense anything. This is where Yami, he didn't sense anything, but what he sensed is Asta's someone that just doesn't give a shit about magic. That's where, well, he's going to think of trying to get Asta into his team. But yeah, he doesn't know if it might work or might not, but yeah, he can try. This is where everyone else fights. This is where both SF and Kenzaki fights. And this is where, well, they're kind of sending, well, kind of blood and ice at each other. But yeah, this is where, well, next is Colin versus Junko. Junko tries to use her emotions to try to manipulate, well, Collins. But Collins is kind of like a machine a little bit. But of course, they were, well, she makes a machinery arm to try to claw at, well, Junko. But Junko managed to cut her off with an invisible sword. Because, well, Colin wasn't feeling that emotion that, well, Junko was feeling a little bit. But yeah, this is where, well, Yuno fights against the same noble than original canon, but this time blasts him to hell so easily. This is where, well, we go into the kind of chosen match, and mostly the chosen and going into squads or not going to squads. This is where the first one is kind of Yuno being kind of picked, or he can pick on whichever he wants because all of them kind of voted for her. And he picks to go to the Golden Dawn because that will have to kind of get his goals closer. But yeah, this is where, well, next it is, what's it called? Well, Estef sees some of the squads that picked her. Mostly it was the Aqua Deer, the what's it called, Green Praying Mantis, the Blue Rose, or even the Sylveon kind of Silver Eagles or whatever the hell it's called. This is where, well, she goes into the Blue Rose because she sees that mostly is a bunch of females and she doesn't want to deal with no males and all that much. But yeah, this is where, well, next is, well, Kenzaki. And Kenzaki sees all of them, and of course, she doesn't want to go into the Golden Dawn, or neither was it called the Blue Rose exactly. But of course, where, well, Kenzaki is trying to think and which Asta might pick. And this is where, well, she's trying to think, but she can't think of it that much. So of course, she sees that the Black Bulls still raise up their hands. But of course, is where, well, she is thinking of trying to get towards the same kind of squad as Asta, but at the same time, she wants to become stronger on her own because she can see that Yuno and Asta are just completely strong on their own. So of course, she decides to pick the Blue Rose. This is where, well, Asta was next. Well, not Asta was next. Mostly Colin was next, and Colin thinks about who she really wants to go. Does she go to the Silver Eagles? The what's it called? The Fire Lions or whatever it's called. The Lions of Flames or whatever, or Black Bulls. She doesn't care. She knows her magic's pretty odd, so of course she goes to the Black Bulls because they're mostly a bunch of oddballs. This is where, well, Junko was the same. She goes with the Black Bulls because she knows, also with oddballs, but at least she's not going to deal with any annoying commander with it because, well, she already knows that they are basically the low of the low. And this is where when Asta appears, they all were kind of quiet for a second. And of course, this is where, well, what's called Williams does kind of ask Asta one question. Why didn't you use magic when you were fighting against a noble? That's where Asta, he gives out a bland ass answer and says, why would I use magic on some idiot that doesn't even know how to control his magic in the beginning Truly, if he knew how to control his magic would have been more destructive. But an idiot like him, cocky and annoying, should be killed in an instant, then just be let live. This is where Asta was such a fucking cold-blooded that he didn't give a shit. This is where, well, and Asta says, and other thing, I'm not gonna choose any of your damn squads, cause I'm not dealing with any of you annoying pricks. I'd rather choose the Black Bulls. Yami Sukanara, whatever your goddamn name is, will you accept me into your squad? Yami says, yeah, kid. Fuck it. This is where Yami said, yes, I got him. Fuck all y'all. This is where everyone is shocked. Even the squad captains were shocked because they were trying to raise their hands. They're just wondering why Asta didn't use his magic against Noble. And Asta didn't just give them the fucking blandest answer, but the biggest fuck you, because he isn't trying to deal with any squads. This is where, well, Yami says, let's go! I got 3 new members! Fuck you, squads, go deal with the others. Ha ha! This is where, well, William says, are you sure you want to go with the Black Bulls? Well, mostly not William who said that. It was mostly what's it called, Nozel. This one also says, of course, like you right now, you truly have a goddamn god complex about thinking that you can order me around. Yet, I'm not going to be ordered around by some prick like you. So I suggest you just sit down and leave me alone. This is where, well, Nozel sits down, of course grumbling, but yeah. This is where William says, okay. That's all I wanted to know about your answer. Good to know. That's where, well, we go into the Black Bulls kind of getting back, well, mostly getting into the Black Bull base. This is where, well, Yami did tell him to kind of go into the portal with, Finro, mostly Finro made the portal and all that. They kind of get to the portal. It was mostly Junko and Colin being there, and of course Asta being there also. But of course they are there. Of course they were. Well, Noelle kind of jumps through and all that. Of course, this is where her face was kind of reddish when she was hearing the speech of Asta. Mostly Asta wanted just to be a free person, doesn't want to follow any rules, which is kind of completely shocking to someone to hearing that word and all that. Mostly he doesn't want to follow anyone. But yeah, and the most freedom bullshit that he can actually pick is a Black Bulls. He doesn't care that much. This is where, well, Asta's face is too stoic and doesn't care that much. And this is where, well, they get towards the kind of base, but before blowing up and the door's actually about to hit Asta, Asta just fucking kicks them away. This is where, well, Asta sees what is happening. Mostly it's Luck and what's called Magna fighting, and of course attacking each other with fireball and lightning. And of course, this is where Yami says, shut up! Smashes the wall, and the wall breaks. This is where everyone sits there and says, Yami, you're back! This is where, well, everyone is kind of smiling, but yeah. This is where, well, Magna says, amazing, you got 3 new newbies or what? This is where, well, Noelle's hiding behind the tree, but yeah. This is where, well, Yami says, yeah, these are, what's it called? Well, what's it called? What are their names exactly? This is where Junko says, the name's Junko. Junko, well, she just says it's Junko because she doesn't actually have a last name and all. And this is where, well, the person next to her was named Colin. And then next to them is basically Asta. The name is Asta Jim. And I want to fight the strongest. So who's the strongest here? And this is where, well, Luck and Magna both just get excited. And of course, they jump up and says, oh, bring it on. This is where, well, Asta says, then let's see who's the strongest here. This is where, well, both Magna and Luck rushes at Asta. This is where Luck tries to punch at Asta. This is where Asta grabs him from the arm and pulls him, well, closer to Asta. Mostly Asta pulls him closer, but mostly just pulling him to the side and throwing him away. And this is where Magna tries to send fireballs at Asta. Asta catches all 3 of them, mostly all 3 fireballs, and of course just launches them back at Magna. Magna has to dodge. Of course, this is where Yami says, well, that's something interesting. Whatever. He gets a chair and just sits down. That's where, well, Fenrir says, isn't this bad enough? Nah, let's just see the skills of what, what's it called, Asta Jim can do. That's where Asta dodges a kick from Magna from the sky, mostly an act kick, jumps away, and mostly then jumps a bat swing from, well, Magna very close. Like, it was close range, point blank range. Asta jumps up, and of course does fucking an act kick in the sky, of course, kicking him in the face and smashing him away. Mostly a back axe kick and all. This is where Asta then blocks a punch from, well, Luck when he's right now using lightning armor and all that. And this is where Asta, he blocks it, but then uses his left hand again to just grab him. And then twist his arm a little bit to the side. And then punch him right in the face, smashing him down to the ground. Asta's right now fighting against him pretty easily. This is where, well, Magna then sends multiple fireballs at him. He says, multi-burst! This is where multiple of them tries to attack Asta. And this is where, well, Luck says, lightning discharge! This is where both attacks were about to hit Asta. Asta saw both of them actually about to hit him. And this is where, well, Asta kind of right now, like, lift up his leg, mostly his right leg. And of course, this is where he spins his leg mostly from the right, from the fireballs. Mostly, well, not the right to the fire. Mostly the lightning first, lightning discharge, using his leg like a conductor and all that. Like a conductor and all that. But of course, well, he says, Asta original Blue Dragon. This is where, well, the lightning did kind of smash into Asta, kind of like crackling with lightning and all that. But this is where the Blue Dragon was right now sparkling. This is where Asta now is able to kind of make a lightning dragon. Blue Lightning Dragon. He then swings it to the other side, mostly the left side of him, kind of smashing through the, what's it called, fire, well, burst, the multi-fire burst. This is where it smashes into, well, Magna. Of course, Magna smashed into a tree. Not the hell. This is where Luck says, what the hell? This is where Asta appears saying, your turn. Ice pick. Well, he says Asta original ice pick. He kicks Asta, well, what's it called? Luck in the stomach, and right now freezing his chest. This is where, well, ice pick was just, or was it ice pick dragon? I don't remember. I think it was ice pick. This is where, well, he freezes, what's it called? Fuck. Luck with an ice pick, but yeah, an ice pick is mostly, he's the most, if you think about this, I think Mori Jim showed this once. I forgot which chapter, but whatever. He kind of used this ability to freeze someone by using the kind of cold air in the air, managed to freeze someone. But yeah. But of course, after that happening, this is where, well, Luck is unable to fight and even Magna. This is where Asta stands in the middle, mostly of both of them. Of course, this is where his clothing isn't that burnt because, well, he's wearing black pants. And this is where, oh, Asta says, is that over? Is that all of them? Who wants to fight me now? This is where, well, Hiami smiles and says, welcome to the team, kid. I'm guessing you two don't want to fight. This is where Junko says, no, I'm good. This is where, well, Colin says, hell no. I already know Asta's skills. Hell the fuck no, I'm not fighting him. This is where, well, everyone is kind of just talking to Asta. Mostly some people with like stars in their eyes, similar to Asta, and that's mostly Vanessa and what's it called? Not Gray. Gray is still the giant and all that. It's mostly Vanessa because she's like saying, "Whoa, you're pretty strong, kid, for being only a 15-year-old." She's kind of feeling the muscles on Asta, and that's why Asta says, "Can you not do that? It's kind of weird." This is where, well, Vanessa say, huh, so you don't like people feeling your muscles? Asta say, meh, not really. This is where, well, Noel realized one thing. Asta's not wearing a shirt. He was never wearing a shirt. He's basically just doesn't have a shirt that much. Even Colin and Junko knows about this. And this is where Junko, the reason why, well, Colin couldn't figure out the emotions of, well, kind of, well, mostly Colin remembers and why she couldn't realize which emotion Junko was thinking. It was mostly lust that Junko was thinking. And this is where, well, that's why her soul was actually a purplish color. And of course, Colin could never see it. But of course, this is where Colin was kind of angry at Junko now. This is where Junko can actually feel the anger from Colin now. Because, well, Junko is looking somewhere else, and of course she has tintish pink face, but yeah. This is where, well, Asta says, but whatever, can I go to my room now? This is where Yami says, yeah, it's up there, you can find it. Also, don't try to get lost. If you get lost, then don't smash through some walls. If you have to, then whatever, you can try. This is where Asta, he goes up, and of course he finds his room, but yeah. Of course, we go into the next day, and of course, it's mostly, well, a mission to get to kind of a village to kind of help him with the board problem. But before that, I'm going to end it off here for part 4 of this what if, because, well, part 5, I don't know what I'm going to do, but yeah, or when I'm going to do it. But other than that, have a nice potato day, potato night, potato seat, potato, and good night. Bye.